Welcome to Democracy Now!, democracynow.org, the War and Peace Report. I'm Amy Goodman with Juan Gonzalez. In Afghanistan, the U.S. has admitted to killing 37 civilians and wounding dozens more in a military attack last week. The victims were bombed as they attended a wedding party outside the city of Kandahar. The Pentagon says the U.S. bombed the area after coming under fire from nearby militants. It was the Pentagon's quickest admission of a mass killing of Afghan civilians to date. It took nearly 2 months before the U.S. admitted killing up to 90 civilians in a similar attack in August. The Pentagon's admission has come as the Bush administration's announced plans to go ahead with a major expansion to a key military base used as a staging ground for its airstrikes around Afghanistan. The U.S. plans to spend $100 million to add more space to Kandahar airfield. The New York Times has revealed the U.S. military has waged nearly a dozen secret attacks inside Syria, Pakistan, and other countries since 2004. The assaults were approved under a classified order signed by then Defense Secretary Donald Rumsfeld and authorized by President Bush. The order authorizes U.S. military attacks anywhere in the world if they can be linked to targeting al-Qaeda. Last month's U.S. attack inside Syria appears to be the latest known instance under the policy. Syria says 8 civilians were killed. The attacks have often been carried out in collaboration with the CIA. In Iraq, at least 28 people were killed today in a triple bombing on a crowded Baghdad market. Another 68 people were wounded. Meanwhile, in Makeba, a female suicide bomber has killed 6 people in an attack near a U.S. allied militia checkpoint. Iraq suffered some of its worst violence in months this past week. At least 12 people were killed in separate bombings this weekend, capping a week of daily attacks. On Sunday, at least 10 people were killed when a female suicide bomber detonated explosives in a Fallujah hospital. In other Iraq news, United Press International is reporting the Iraqi government has drafted a deal that would give the oil giant Royal Dutch Shell the biggest foreign role in Iraqi petroleum in 4 decades. The 25-year agreement would let Shell capture gas wasted during the extraction of oil in Basra. The Washington Post has revealed the recent $700 billion taxpayer bailout of Wall Street contains a possibly illegal provision that stands to give American banks a massive windfall. As part of the bailout, lawmakers changed tax code section 382, which limits the kinds of tax shelters companies can use during corporate mergers. It was created to stop companies who avoid paying taxes by acquiring shell companies valued by the losses on their stocks. The companies would then write off the losses and avoid paying taxes on their own profits. Taxpayers stand to lose some $140 billion from the move. Experts say the Treasury had no legal authority to eliminate the tax measure. Republicans have been trying to overhaul or eliminate it since its introduction in 1986. Congressional aides admitted lawmakers agreed to keep the change hidden to avoid public outrage. Staffers with Senate Finance Committee Chair Max Baucus, a Democrat, reportedly asked that an administration briefing on the tax code change be kept secret. One congressional aide said, quote, "We're all nervous about saying that this was illegal because of our fears about the marketplace. To the extent we want to try to publicly stop this, we're going to be gumming up some important deals." News of the deliberate bank windfall measure comes as a new round of social welfare cuts are likely in the state where most of these firms are based. On Sunday, New York Governor David Paterson said he'll seek billions of dollars in cuts to Medicaid and education funding. Paterson cited a rise state deficit worse by the financial crisis on Wall Street. In other bailout news, Treasury officials are finalizing a new rescue package for the troubled insurance giant American International Group, AIG. The government has already loaned AIG $143 billion. The plan would restructure the loan to give AIG more time to pay it back at a lower rate. Aides to President-elect Barack Obama have begun to outline his top priorities upon taking office. On Sunday, incoming Chief of Staff Rahm Emanuel said Obama would push ahead with a middle-class tax cut and a tax increase for higher-income Americans. Obama's pledge to undo the Bush administration tax cut for Americans making more than $250,000 a year. Emanuel also said Obama would move to expand health care access, but didn't give details. Meanwhile, Obama's transition team says it's reviewing hundreds of actions taken by President Bush using executive authority. The Obama camp says it might overturn a wide variety of executive orders, including limits on stem cell research, abortion funding, and the expansion of oil and gas drilling. Well, President-elect Obama heads to the White House today for a meeting with President Bush. It's expected to be his only White House visit before he takes office in January. On Friday, Obama held his first news conference as president-elect.
I do not underestimate the enormity of the task that lies ahead. We have taken some major action to date, and we will need further action during this transition and subsequent months. Some of the choices that we make are going to be difficult. And I have said before, and I will repeat again, it is not going to be quick, and it is not going to be easy for us to dig ourselves out of the hole that we are in. But America is a strong and resilient country, and I know we will succeed.
During Obama's remarks to reporters on Friday, he also addressed Iran's nuclear activities.
Iran's development of a nuclear weapon, I believe, is unacceptable. We have to mount an international effort to prevent that from happening. Iran's support of terrorist organizations, I think, is something that has to cease.
Obama immediately came under criticism from the head of Iran's parliament, Ali Larijani.
باید مبنای استراتژیکی داشته باشه. اونچه که انتظار میره در صحنه بین‌المللی این هست.
The expectation of the international scene is that the change should have a strategic basis, not just daily remarks about Iran's nuclear issue that we have seen Mr. Obama say recently. It is a step in the wrong direction. If they, the United States government, want the conditions to change in the region, they should send the right signals to show that they have a correct understanding of the region's public voices and the general hatred that existed in the region towards the U.S.
Obama differed from opponents on the campaign trail after vowing to hold talks with Iran without preconditions. Meanwhile, the Associated Press is reporting Obama advisors are crafting a plan that would put Guantanamo prisoners on trial in U.S. courts. Under the proposal, some prisoners would be freed while others would be sent to the U.S. for trial in criminal courts. A third group of prisoners would go in front of a new court system designed to handle so-called national security cases. Obama has also announced he won't commit to continuing the Bush administration's controversial missile shield in Eastern Europe. A spokesperson clarified Obama's stance after Polish President Lech Kaczynski said Obama had told him the program would continue under the new administration. The program's been widely derided as bellicose, expensive, and useless to its stated goals of protecting national security. Poland would host 10 ballistic missiles along with a radar site in the Czech Republic. The Bush administration says the missile system would protect Europe from Iranian missiles, but it's widely seen as a first-strike weapon. Newly disclosed accounts from international monitors have cast further doubt on Georgia's motives for launching a U.S.-backed armed conflict with Russia earlier this year. Georgia attacked 2 breakaway provinces after claiming its forces had come under Russian fire. But according to the New York Times, monitors with the Organization for Security and Cooperation in Europe said there was scant proof Russia attacked when Georgia claimed. Monitors stationed near the Georgian areas reported hearing no rounds fired from the Russian side. Instead, monitors recorded an intense Georgian attack on the separatist capital of Shinkvali. At least 48 rounds were fired on a civilian area in the first hour of the Georgian attack. Russian forces stationed there also came under fire.